Hello, I'm Debbie Bell Hosking for Finextra TV here at Sibos 2023 in Toronto. And I'm talking to Peter Reynolds, Executive Vice President, Real-Time Payments, Mastercard. And we're talking about next generation real-time payments. So Peter, welcome.
Thank you.
We're talking,
to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you here. And we're talking real-time payments. And real-time payment schemes have been springing up around the world and are now live in 80 countries. So what is next for real-time payments?
Well, we believe in the right conditions that we're seeing an accelerating growth of real-time payments and a lot more use cases coming out of that. And these are being driven by consumer choice, wanting to be able to do their banking and pay for items 24/7 and 365 days a year. The growth is being driven by different things. If you look at the biggest markets, probably that's India with UPI, Thailand, Philippines, PIX in Brazil. A lot of that is absorbing cash out of the system. And that is clearly driving growth between just those four. If you map them, they're all on pretty much the same trajectory, but they've moved to 50% of the market for real-time payments within 5 years. Other markets are more mature. They've got more mature systems. They're being driven by new use cases like request to pay. So the ability to receive a request to pay as a bill and then make that payment in real time. And in other markets, through competition. So you've seen in the US here, FedNow and the Clearinghouse. So this is a really exciting place to be in. It's the theme of our Sibos 2023 presence around the next time of real-time payments. The next wave of real-time payments.
And you talk about the next wave. Things are happening so fast in payments. These schemes you're talking about, do you think they'll be able to keep up with this change?
Well, we're absolutely focused on driving, making ease of use for consumers, for businesses, for banks to adopt and to use real-time payments. We've got a huge experience in this. We have been doing this since 2007. We have built or operate in 13 markets around the world, and we are now on our 5th generation of technology switching to deliver these services. But what I will say is, as you mentioned earlier, that nearly 80 countries are on real-time payments. So we really think that the first wave of real-time payments is coming to a close. 80 countries, about 87% of the world's gross domestic product. So the focus is then moving from implementing real-time payment systems to now how to upgrade and modernize those to make sure they've got the right capacity to enable these new use cases and to think about interoperability across that. So we've been anticipating this. I mentioned we have recently completed our 5th generation of switch that is more modular, it's more configurable, it's cloud ready, it has the ability to have some of these new use cases built into it. So we're forever improving and continuing to evolve that new core 5th generation product.
And it's that word you said, interoperability. Is that a pipe dream or will it become a reality?
It's happening now. It's really exciting and we believe in it. There are a number of examples of bilateral schemes, but I think what's been shown is they're not necessarily scalable. They become very expensive and complicated to run between multiple different countries. So we welcome the Nexus scheme about multilateral switching and having that kind of capability. We've been building switches, multi-currency, multi-scheme for some time. So we feel technology-wise, we're in a good place to be able to deliver that. But the real challenges in interconnectivity aren't the technology ones. It really comes into the regulatory alignment, the central bank opening hours, the access. It comes to the data and data localization requirements. It comes around the commercial models that sit around those. There's a lot of operations that sit around just the technical switching. So Whilst there's a lot of excitement around it, I think there is still some road to travel. As Mastercard, we believe that there probably has to be a natural convener to bring together a lot of these different parties to harmonise the approach and the data requirements. And that'll probably be, I expect, to be a combination of public and private entities doing that.
So you talk about the work, so much great work has been happening. There's still a lot of work to be done. If you could do just one thing to unlock the potential and the power of real-time payments, what would it be?
I think the biggest pain factor at the moment is really around financial crime and authorised push payments where they're romance scams, fraudulent businesses. They've become one of the biggest sources of fraud. 41% in the UK was the latest stat that I've seen. And what happens is, that money comes through, it's tracked through a series of money mule accounts, but we have AI consumer protection solutions that actually look for those patterns and do that. And we've implemented that, for example, in the UK with 9 of the larger banks, and that's been very successful to try and stop that. So moving from just having solutions do the switching to now that include a level of consumer protection and consumer fraud protection, I think it's going to be super important. And we've already seen in that solution, we had a paper on it recently that if we extrapolated from one of the banks and the losses they've stopped, there'd be $100 million less fraud in the UK by implementing these solutions and detecting these patterns. So I think that's a fairly common story. First generation has been getting the switches in the ground. The second generation is about the new use cases, getting the consumer protection, and then of course then the interoperability that comes with that.
Wow, Peter, thank you. It's been a great umbrella view as well as where we're going next and the things we need to look for. So Peter, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.